Hi guys, sorry about that. If you were trying to get onto the video and it kept cutting out, I was having a little trouble with my Wi-Fi signal, but I think it's okay now. Right then, so we are here this evening with our hooks and our granny squares to have a little look at joining them together. So the ones that we've been working on since Sunday, and I have absolutely loved seeing all of your creations, so keep them coming. I love seeing everyone's colour combinations, even everyone who's done a rainbow, like everyone's like combination of rainbow colours is different, and everyone who's not done a rainbow, I'm loving seeing them too, so keep them coming. I really love seeing them. So the kids haven't quite gone to bed yet, so if you hear them in the background, I've asked them to be quiet, but you know what it's like. So you might hear them. So yeah, let's go ahead and hi Kaylee, hi Kath. Let's go ahead and join our granny squares. So far I've got this size, and then I've got two bigger ones, and I'm going to make a blanket that incorporates the bigger ones, the smaller ones, and also some of these tiny little heart ones, which I'm going to show you guys. I showed you the tutorial the other day of just the heart on its own, and on Friday I'm going to do a little quick tutorial on turning them into a little mini granny square. So yeah, 1 2, just testing, Kaylee. Marie, hi Marie, ready to learn. Hi Karen. Right, I'm so glad you're all here, so let's do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at joining our granny squares. We are going to look at one way of joining them. There are lots of different ways of joining them, including sewing them together with whichever yarn you want to use, or cotton, like cotton and thread. My favourite way to join them is to crochet them together. There are a few different ways to crochet them together. Today I'm going to show you the way that I'm going to join these together, which is quite a classic way to join your granny squares together, and it creates a really lovely ridge. Now with the rainbow colours, I love white. So I'm going to be joining mine with white, and as you can see, I've framed my little mini hearts in white as well. So I'm going to be using white, so hopefully you can see it okay. But if it's not very easy to see, then I can change it. The good thing about using white against these colours as well is that it's contrasting. So you'll be able to see where my stitches are and where my square is. But you might find, once you've seen how I do it, then you might want to frame your squares in white or whatever colour, and then join it with that same colour as well, so it kind of blends into its border. But I'm going to join it with a contrasting colour, so that's entirely up to you. And then also how you join them, there's, like I say, there's a few different ways. In my courses that I teach in groups, we kind of have a little look at all the different ways to join them. But I'm going to show you the one way that I'm going to join these ones, which is a really nice way. I'm sure you'll love it. You've got two options with this way. One is that you do right sides facing. So if you do it right sides facing, then you'll have a ridge on the back of your blanket, and sort of like invisible if you do the same colour on the same colour on this side, and like a little contrasting stitch if you do your joining in a contrasting colour. So yeah. So that's what we're going to have a little look at. I'm going to do mine back to back because I want the ridge for mine to be on the front of my blanket. So I'm going to have like a chunky sort of white ridge along the top edges. So first thing I'm going to do is put a slip knot on my hook. So like we did on Sunday, we looked at placing a slip knot on our hook. We're going to do that same thing now. So we're going to go around our fingers and cross it over that back one, cross it over that one, and then you go under the front one, pick up the back one and pull it through and pull it tight. So we've got our slip knot on our hook now. So the next thing I'm going to do, as I mentioned, is that I'm going to have mine back to back while I'm sewing them or crocheting them together, because I would like the ridge to be on the front. Something else that that you've got an option with in relation to this is how you crochet them together. So on the top of each of your stitches, you've got, on the top of every stitch, you've got this little V shape. So bear with me. So this is the V shape that I mean. So here and here and here. So when we're crocheting normally into the top of a stitch, so throughout our granny squares, we've been crocheting into spaces. So the big holes that we've made, we've been crocheting into those. Quite often in crochet, another way to crochet into something, rather than crocheting into spaces, is to crochet into the top of stitches. So we're going to be crocheting into the top of our stitches in order to join this together. And you can either go under both of these, just go under that one, or just go under that one. Whichever you choose to do will create a different effect in the end, slightly different effect. So if you want to have a little play around with it and see what you fancy and see what you like, then that's great. But I'm going to go under both, and that's the method that I'm going to show you now. So when I crochet, I'm going to, when I'm in spaces, I'm going to go all the way through the actual space. But when I'm above a stitch, like this one, it's got to be matched up to the same one on the other side, and I'm going to go under those two. And then on the other side of the same stitch, I'm going to go under those two. So let me just turn that over so you can see. So that's gone under the top of the same stitch. So we've matched that side up with that side. So it's the first of the 3 trebles in the middle of that corner. So we're going to go under those next. So I'm going to start off in the corner, and we'll have a look at that now. And then when I'm working my way along here, I'm showing you this with this needle because it's easier to show you at the moment exactly where we're going under with the needle, because when I start going under it with my crochet hook, it's a bit harder to see because the stitches are in the way, and also because I quite often will use my finger to help me get the hook through the stitch. So so this is where we're going to be going under there and under there when we're actually going into the top of the stitches. So I've got my hook and yarn, and I'm going to place my first stitch into this corner. So we're going into the corner first of all, and the stitch that we're going to be using to join these together is a double crochet. So what we've been doing in our granny squares here is treble crochets, but we're going to join our granny squares together today with a double crochet. So that's the method that I'm going to show you. As I mentioned before, there are loads and loads of ways to join a granny square together. Apologies if you can hear my kids screaming out in the dining room there. They've gotten to that point today where they can't really be around each other without being mean to each other. So I'm going to go into this hole, and we're doing double crochets. So we're joining with a double crochet. There are loads and loads of other ways to join squares. So people might be now thinking or saying, oh, I thought you're supposed to do it like this, or don't you do it like that? There's millions of ways, and like I was saying the other day, there's no right or wrong way, but this is just one of the ways I like to do it. So I've put my hook into that first open space in my corner. So hook through, hook the yarn, pull it through to the front so you've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both of those loops that were on your hook. That is a double crochet. So now we're going to do the same thing again, but this time it's going to go under here and here. So under there and under there, hook the yarn, pull it through to the front so you've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull it through 2. So then we're going to move along to the next one of 3 trebles. So under that one, hook the yarn, pull it through to the front, yarn over and pull through 2. And then the same again with the last one of 3. So under there, hook the yarn, pull it through to the front, yarn over and pull through 2. So now we've done 1 into that corner there, and then we've done 1 into the top of that stitch, 1 into the top of that stitch, and 1 into the top of that stitch. And that's worked out the same on the other side there for you. Now we're going into this corner here, this edge space. So we've got an edge space next. We're going to go into it. So in there, and I'm just, with these, I'm going straight into the space, not trying to get into the top of the chains. So hook that yarn, pull it through. Okay, and then, so that's the space one. And now we've got another 3 trebles that we're going to do the same into the top of. So 1 in here, pull the yarn through to the front, yarn over, and then pull through 2. So put your hook into there, hook into that one, hook the yarn, pull it through to the front. So you've got 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over, and then pull through both loops that were on your hook. So pop your hook into there, pull the yarn through to the front. If at this point, which some people will quite often fancy doing, which kind of happens quite a lot, tends to happen quite a lot when we're working with double crochets, is that at this point people want to pull that loop through there. What that is a slip stitch, which is something that we did the other day. You can actually join along here with a slip stitch, and if you want to try that and see how it looks, and if you like it, go for it. That's another way of joining. I quite like the ridge that you get with the double crochet, which is why I'm using this method. So while we're halfway through this double crochet, so just to confirm, we're not hooking that and pulling it through there yet. We need to yarn over and pull it through 2. So I'll demo that again for you. We're going into the space now, because we've just done 3 across the tops of our trebles. So we're going into the space, we're going to hook that yarn, pull it up to the front so you've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're going to do the same across the top of our next 3 trebles, actually going into the stitches as we mentioned. Just move this yarn. So into the top of that one. And into the top of that one. And now we're going into the space. So into there, hook that, pull it through to the front, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook. Next, we're going to go into the top of that stitch, and into the top of that stitch there, hook the yarn, pull it through to the front. So you've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Put your hook into that one, hook the yarn, pull it through to the front, yarn over, pull through 2. Pop your hook into there, put your hook into that one, hook the yarn, pull it through to the front, yarn over and pull through 2. And then we're going to go into our space. Hook that yarn, pull it up to the front, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, and then we're going to pop our hook into the top of that one. So we're in our last cluster of 3 now. Hook that through to the front, yarn over, pull through 2. Put our hook into that one, hook into that one, pull the yarn through. So you've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Hook into the last stitch. So you've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and then I'm going to do 1 going into this corner. So hook that yarn, so into the corner space, pull it through to the front, yarn over, and then pull through 2. And at this point, I'm going to fasten off. So I'm going to cut the yarn here, hook the yarn, pull it through the loop that's on the hook completely, and pull that tight. And now we'll be able to see when we open it out that on our front side of our blanket, we've got this ridge. So it's kind of like a bit of a 3D ridge like that, a really nice chunky stitch going along. Okay, so that's what it will look like from the front if you put your squares back to back, and that's what it would look like on the back if you put your squares right sides facing. And then on the other side, it looks like this. So this is what it looks like on the back. So if you were to do your joining in the same colour as a border, like, so say every single square you did your last row in white, and then you joined it with this white, you'd have this ridge, but you wouldn't see those white stitches on the back. So they would be sort of hidden, camouflaged into your border. So I'm just pointing that out because that might help you decide whether you want to do it this way round or the other way round, or whether you want to put a white border on and then do a white join, or whatever colour you decided to go with. Your border on each square could be any colour, and then if you joined then with this with the same colour, did your actual joining with the same colour, then it wouldn't show up as much colour wise, contrast wise, which would be good on the back, because then you don't see those at all, so they would be camouflaged in. You'd still get the texture that you've got from this though, this line. But yeah, so that's how I would join my granny squares. What I would do next is put this one next to this one and put them back to back and join those together in the same way. Then I would do the same with that one, let's say. And then once I had my strips, so say it was going to be a whole blanket of ones this size, I'd get them all joined up like that in a line. Then I'd do the next row, then the next row, and then I would join them in the same way by putting the strips back to back, and going along the long edge. And then when you open it up, it looks lovely and it's all really nice and neat and joined together. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to join mine yet. So every time I make a new square, so at the moment I've got these 2 big ones and 4 little ones, and then I've got some hearts. I'm pretty much 100% sure that I'm going to arrange these little hearts in like a rainbow pattern. So they'll be in the rainbow sequence in like maybe a strip down this edge and maybe another strip on another edge. But it'll probably be quite random. So I'll have like a big square and then maybe two small squares next to it. And I'll just kind of play around with it as I make them, lay it out on the floor and work out exactly how I want it, and then start piecing it together dependent on what the layout's going to be. So for example, if I want these two joined to this one, then my next step would be to put them back to back like that and join along this edge in the same way that we've just done. So along there, carry on along there in the same way that we did with that one, those 2 little ones together. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions about joining, then feel free to pop them in the comments, or to share a picture of your work on social media, and then tag Raise Room in it and hashtag Raise Room Rainbows and Raise Room Crocheters, and then I'll answer you on there. So yeah, any questions, let me know. But most importantly, I want to see those blankets as you start to put them together or as you're working on them. So keep sharing them and tagging Raise Room so that I can see. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions, then just let me know. Seeing as I am here and online now, if anyone's got any questions at all about anything that I've just done, then you can put them in the comments now and I'll answer them now live for you. And yeah, if not, if you could come up with any questions as you're working, then just let me know. I don't think anyone's got any questions, have they? That's good. I must have, hopefully that means that I explained it well. But yeah, so just keep on sharing, make sure you let me see it all. Thanks guys, have a wonderful Wednesday evening and look after yourselves, stay safe, and don't forget on Friday I'm going to be showing you guys live on a little mini live how to put the granny square around the mini hearts. And then on Sunday, we are going to be looking at the rainbow pattern. I'm just going to grab one for you now. Hang on. We're going to be looking at making these. So we're going to be looking at the pattern. I'm going to share a free written pattern for you in relation to these. And yeah, we're going to do that on Sunday morning as a live session like we did last Sunday with the Granny Squares. So yeah, keep on following the Raise Room page so I can keep you up to date about when it's all going to be. Thanks guys, stay safe, bye.